I do want to just mention this real quick. Kristaps Porzingis, what is going on? What is going on with Kristaps Porzingis? I mean, I don't know if we talked about him.
Uh-oh.
Well, yeah, talking about Kristaps Porzingis, he only played around 4. He played 14 minutes tonight, only had 8 points, 3 for 5 from the field with 4 rebounds. And this is a viral illness that we were talking about earlier on the season when it came down to the third and fourth quarter of the season when the team was just around All-Star break and the news broke via Kristaps Porzingis about his injury and illness, and it wasn't broken by the team. He more later came back into the series for the Celtics or back into the regular season for the Celtics, and it started to show those signs that he was bouncing back, and they were still platoon swapping him with Al Horford and Al Horford, and you also saw Nemias Queta and Luke Cornett pick up a good majority of the minutes in that for the rest of the season. But once playoffs rolled around, we started to see a lack of production and starting to see Kristaps Porzingis start to disappear within those games and in late game situations due to the fatigue that his body's going through and also the injuries he has faced throughout his entire career. And where does everyone's confidence lie with the Celtics? And if Kristaps Porzingis is out of this lineup, what effect does that have on the Knicks' chances of being able to walk away with this series?
Well, first of all, let me just get all this. All right, camera settings straight here because the camera died here. Sorry, folks, camera died. But Kristaps Porzingis. All right, here we go. Kristaps Porzingis. Okay, at what point in time is the Boston fan base going to turn against Kristaps Porzingis? I'm just asking this question now because the availability and the randomness from Kristaps Porzingis, I think, is getting to a point that should be annoying to everybody. I mean, seriously, he goes out 9 of 10 games in March with an illness. All right, 9 of 10 games, and we don't even know to this day what the illness was, and we have no idea if it was related to this illness or not.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing. Apparently, it's been.
But how does this even make sense? It's like he had a rest. I mean, now that the details in which we were given tonight, they were, well, he has an upper respiratory illness, which is what we didn't hear last month when Kristaps Porzingis was out of the lineup. We had no idea what that illness was for. Obviously, now we know it's upper respiratory, but what exactly? What? So he plays well, right? Remember, he came back into the lineup. He plays well for quite some time, and near the end of the season, nothing's wrong with Porzingis.
Asthma?
What was that, Franco?
Is it just like another word for asthma that he has going on, or something?
Well, I don't know, because this is so he obviously deals with it at the end of the year. He's not so at the end of the year, right? Yeah, he misses 9 of 10 games, but he comes back into the lineup with what, 15, 20 games left, and he looks pretty good. I mean, he won player of the game 3 games in a row. Right when he came back, it was like bam, bam, bam. Kristaps Porzingis comes back. There's no rust. We were giving him all the praise, yada, yada. And then in the playoffs, in the Orlando series, obviously he takes a couple of blows in that series, and there's some questions about his health going forward. But it wasn't anything to the level of, oh, is Kristaps Porzingis, is he going to be available to go next round? Well, in that first half yesterday, he scores 0 points, and he doesn't look like himself, and then goes out at halftime with an illness, and maybe the same thing. And then tonight he comes out, and he plays 13-53, 14 minutes. He's 3 of 5 from the floor, 8 points, comes off the bench. There's a little bit of a boost off the bench when Kristaps Porzingis came into the game. It was like, oh, the whole crowd's like, oh, Kristaps is here. Oh, nice. But 3 of 5, fine. I mean, took 5 shots, hit 3 of them. But the thing is with Kristaps Porzingis, we know his actual potential on the floor, and the fact he's playing 13:53. What is going on there? Why he can't play 20 minutes? He can't play 25 minutes? Like, how is this upper respiratory thing serious enough to where he can't play the second half of game 1 and he can only play 13 minutes or 14 minutes tonight? It doesn't make any sense to me. If you can play 14 minutes, why can't you play 20, 25 minutes? I actually what that is like a legitimate question. Why if you can play 14 minutes, how are you not playing 25 minutes? I don't understand. But Kristaps Porzingis, we've been saying this is, oh, like, what's his availability and health going to look like come playoff time? Knock on wood for Kristaps Porzingis that he's going to be healthy. Well, guess what? In game 1, he scores 0 points. He's out in the second half. And in game 2, he plays 14 minutes. And now the Celtics are down 0-2. And I don't want here's the thing, too. I don't want the history of this to be, oh, well, Kristaps, he just wasn't healthy. And Hauser, we were missing Hauser. It's like, no. Even without these guys, we had 20-point leads in these games. Would it have been nice to have Kristaps available and healthy and ready to go down the stretches of these games? 1,000%. That's a huge piece of the Celtics missing with Kristaps Porzingis, no doubt. But it's also not the reason in which the Celtics have lost these games. But I'm just at this point in time with Kristaps Porzingis, and this is when it really I'm sorry, the playoffs are a good measuring stick for everything. It's like Robert Williams a couple years ago. Robert Williams, beloved by the fan base, everybody loves him. Meniscus surgery at the end of the year, misses a whole month, comes back in the playoffs, and everybody's like, yeah, we have Rob back for the playoffs. This is great. And he was literally playing every other game, and he looked good one night and then terrible the next night. And it was noticeable, like via him limping on the floor or not. That's how noticeable it was. But at a certain point with Robert Williams, after that playoff run, and even during that playoff run, particularly during the Eastern Conference Finals in games 1 and 2 in Miami, the conversation in my mind became, okay, Robert Williams, we talk about his health and how valuable he's supposed to be for the Celtics team. But if you're not available in the most crucial moment of the season, where is your value? How valuable are you if you're not available in the most crucial moment of the season? That's where I'm getting with Kristaps. 2 years now with Kristaps, right? 2 years. Last year, played 7 games in the playoffs. 7 games, which I read that stat somewhere. Why do I feel like that's not actually accurate? I feel like he played what? 5 games in the play. Like, did he not go out game 2 against the Heat? Then he played 3 games in the final. I feel like it was 5 games. I don't know why I heard 7. But regardless, that is not even half. That's not even a fourth of the Celtics playoff run last year that Kristaps played. And the Celtics still won the finals. Great. That's awesome. But then this year, games 1 and 2 against the Knicks, in which the Celtics both lose here, and it's in the semifinals. And we know now, okay, this is a crucial moment in the season. First off, is he going to be healthy in game 3 to go at MSG? And secondly, in these first 2 games, is this the start of questioning Kristaps Porzingis' role on this team moving forward? Because I know the question is, oh, well, this summer, or this summer, some pieces could be moved out. Because what's in front of the Celtics, the starting 5 next year is going to cost $35 million more than it does this year. So essentially, from the Celtics' perspective, they're adding a max player next year without actually adding a player. So they're adding a max player to their books without actually adding a player. I could 100% see the Celtics moving off a player. And Kristaps Porzingis, if you're looking like who's on the chopping block right now, Kristaps Porzingis' availability has been absolutely awful in the most crucial moments of the last 2 seasons. Absolutely awful. And he only played 42 games this year. And so I understand how valuable Kristaps Porzingis can be, and I understand the level in which he brings the Celtics team too, because I've been on the record saying this on this program. He is the Celtics' Kevin Durant. Kristaps Porzingis is the Celtics' Kevin Durant, like Kevin Durant was to the Warriors, where the Warriors were already good without Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant took them to an all-time great status. That's where Porzingis can bring the Celtics team. However, if he's not on the court, that's not possible. And if you're paying a guy $30, $35 million, $40 million a year, and Kristaps Porzingis' deal is actually the shortest of the starting 5, because Drew Holiday and Derek White both received extensions last year. But Kristaps Porzingis, if he's not available at in the most crucial moment of the season, which is right now, where does Kristaps Porzingis slot in the future? These are the moments. I know you could sit here and say, oh well, we didn't talk like, oh, in the regular season, we had conversations about this, and maybe we're overreacting to this loss in game 2. And let me be clear, I still think the Celtics can win the series.
Right.
Because from a mathematical standpoint, and what the Celtics just did in these first 2 games, they should have came out with at least one of them. They should have came out with both of them. And there's nothing in my mind that tells me that they can't win 4 straight games or win 4 out of 5 games against this New York team. Now, I will say it's going to be an uphill battle 100% because you're playing both games at MSG. You have to win both those games not to go down 3-1, which is a huge climb as well. Which 2-0, 3-1, it's very similar. It's very similar in those ways. But if just in terms of Porzingis, it's like, what are we over? Like, am I overreacting to this one game? It's like, I don't think so. If he's not available, if he's available for 14 minutes in a span of 3 halves in the most crucial moment of the season where you're trying not to go down 0-2 to the Knicks, I'm sorry. What are we supposed to rely on Kristaps Porzingis next year and the year after? I mean, maybe I'm getting a little bit too far off on the Porzingis future tangent here, but I just think the informational pipeline with Kristaps this year and all the availability concerns with Kristaps, it has to be getting annoying, especially at this point in time when we're sitting here going, okay, well, this is the time we want you available. It's like against the Bulls in the regular season, it's like, yeah, sit out that game. We don't care about the Bulls in the regular season. We can win that game without Kristaps Porzingis. But right now, game 2 against the Knicks, game 1 against the Knicks, and in the Magic series, we need Kristaps Porzingis to show up and show out. And what's even more frustrating about this is there was no signs before this illness nonsense going on with Porzingis. I've never seen another. I don't remember a time in which illnesses have just completely, other than the COVID timeline. Obviously, that was what it was. But I've never seen another point in history in sports where illnesses have just affected. Like, how many times do we see illnesses in the NBA? How many times do we see illnesses take a player out of a game? It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know. I feel like it's just a tag for something else, or it's like just kind of a slap a label on this, and he's out, and just call it a day. We have the doctor's note here. Give it to the principal. He'll accept it. Whatever. The principal being the league.
But that's been a Porzingis track record, though, right? Remember, he played for the Knicks.
Right.
Same thing. A lot of injuries, a lot of time missed. He goes to Dallas. Same thing. So I mean, the best ability is availability, especially when you're paying a guy that much money.
And that's what I'm frustrated with, along with the fact that Kristaps Porzingis in the Magic series, he was terrible. He was terrible, and it was all. I mean, it was his fault. It was his fault that he was terrible. It wasn't. This great. Don't get me wrong. The Magic were phenomenal defensively in that series because they had the bodies to go up against the Celtics, and we gave them praise all series long. But there were a lot of moments where we got the mismatches we wanted. Oh, okay, Kristaps Porzingis, you have Gary Harris right now. Oh, Kristaps Porzingis, you have Corey Joseph right now, or you have Cole Anthony right now. Cole Anthony, he was slotted out. Cole Anthony was played less than those 2 other guys, Corey Joseph and Gary Harris. But when Porzingis had those mismatches, it was, I'm going to settle for a free throw line jumper. I'm going to settle for a wing, a mid-range jumper. And it's like, why? How is this the shot selection right now? He wasn't playing well Kristaps wasn't playing well coming into the series. He didn't play well in the first half yesterday. And now I shouldn't say yesterday, 2 days ago in game 1. And then now he's playing 14 minutes. And no, it's definitely, we're probably now, to me, like, I feel like maybe I'm touching a part of the Celtics fan base that isn't fully there yet. Like, I don't know if other people are already thinking about this or not, but Kristaps, it's like, I know everybody loves him the same way everybody loved Robert Williams, but at some point or another, you just have to be available and productive. And Kristaps Porzingis, in the most important moments of the season for the Celtics in the last 2 years, has not either been available or productive. And that is definitely a mark on his resume, and it affects the Celtics team 100% because he's supposed to be that player that brings the Celtics from just pretty good to really good. And when he's not available or he's not playing well, I mean, the Celtics are just pretty good, and you can make a case. The Celtics right now, they're basically 6 or 7 deep. We picked on the Knicks this series, coming into the series, going, okay, well, the Knicks, their bench is all it is Miles McBride, Cam Payne, Mitchell Robinson, and they might bring in Precious Achua. They might. They'll go 8 deep. They might go 9 deep. Well, right now you have Hauser out of the lineup. Porzingis, he's giving you 14 minutes. You're playing Luke Cornett 17 and a half minutes tonight if you're the Celtics. You know, he actually played phenomenally in his 17 and a half minutes. I would actually like, I'd play him 25 minutes. I would like to see him out there a little bit more, especially in this occasion where Al Horford's playing 30 minutes and just not hitting a shot to save his life. But you have basically a 7 deep roster, and your 2 bench guys are Peyton Pritchard and Luke Cornett if you're the Celtics. And then you have Brown and Tatum, who are essentially right now being outplayed by Anunoby. And I mean, you could say Bridges. I think Bridges has outplayed Brown and Tatum defensively, maybe not from an offensive standpoint quite yet. Obviously, Bridges had that big fourth quarter we saw tonight. Game 1, it was a little rough for Bridges. OG Anunoby played phenomenally offensively in game 1, hit a lot of shots, a lot of open shots he got in that game. But you do have a core of Hart, Anunoby, and Bridges, arguably playing harder than Brown, Tatum, and I think Derek White and Holiday, they're playing pretty hard right now. Horford, to me, Horford is one of those guys. Right now, we are asking way too much of him. All right, in this spot, he's 38 years old. He's starting. He's playing 30 minutes, and it's clear by his minute total that, yeah, we shouldn't be playing Al Horford this many minutes, but there's no other choice because Kristaps Porzingis is basically not available right now. And I would like to see Cornette a little bit more within the lineup. But I mean, you when you compare the two teams, like we're saying, oh, the margin in this series for the Celtics is a little wider than it was against the Magic, or maybe it was the other way around. Maybe it's a little thinner. But in terms of who the Celtics have on the roster right now, it's like Brown and Tatum, they're supposed to be the 2 best wings in this series. You can make a case that Anunoby, Bridges, and even Hart have outplayed them at certain moments. Maybe not the entirety of the time, but certainly in certain moments. And then the backcourt, I mean, you have Jalen Brunson. He is just a flamethrower. And I know tonight he was only 6 of 19. But when you have a player like Jalen Brunson, I mean, he's 6 of 19 tonight. But down the stretch, it's like okay, they have the best fourth quarter player. They have one of the best clutch players in the entire league. I mean, Clutch Player of the Year award, obviously, for Jalen Brunson this year. But you have that player down the stretch. And, I will say, he was 3 of 6 in the fourth quarter, Jalen Brunson was tonight. So he shot 50% and scored 9 points in that fourth quarter. Mikal Bridges, 14 points on 6 of 10 shooting in that fourth quarter. But, I mean, Tatum and Brown, 1 of 9 in the fourth quarter tonight, 1 of 9. Derek White and Drew Holiday, 0 of 3. I mean, you're looking at the Celtics and the Knicks, and you're like, yeah, the margins for the Celtics in the series all of a sudden, especially when Porzingis isn't playing up to par, or he's not healthy, and Hauser's out of the lineup. It's like, yeah, the Knicks, they're up 2-0 right now. They're going back home. They have a chance in this series. I mean, they have more than a chance in the series. They have the upper hand.